let's talk negative comments. Like, for real, I'm kind of excited to talk about this. So my name is Casey. I created Keep Classical Weird, which is a whole brand and amalgamation of like podcasts and content creation that is intended for outreach and education mainly. Also some way for me to talk about all my thoughts that maybe somebody will listen. So I made a post pretty recently about my next big upcoming thing, which I'm gonna go to Germany and see a note change in the longest piece ever performed. You can see it, it's pinned to my profile. And I wanna talk about talking about art and how to have a discourse about art, because it's different than talking about almost any other subject. It's different than talking about politics. It's different than talking about science or math. It's different than talking about current events. It's just a different genre. And the thing that it makes it different, the thing that makes art function well for humanity, is that everybody's reaction to the art that they are consuming is valid. Now, the reaction I got for this video, which blew up bigger than I thought it would, which is amazing for me, I love that. Most of the reactions that I got were people who were either curious or excited or thought it was strange and cool and just decided to look at it anyway. I have two comments in particular that I'm going to flag, and I'm leaving their names up because it's really easy to find. This is not intended to come after people at all. This is intended to talk about how we can have a thoughtful and meaningful discourse. So the first negative comment on my video that caught my attention was this one. It feels like musicians are being rage baited and loving it in the name of art. I get what you're saying, but come on, man. I loved this as a negative comment, and I'll tell you why. This person saw the art and had a very valid reaction to it. There's more than one person in my life who has reacted this way. That's like 640 years for one piece of music. Is that actually music? Come on, that is a valid reaction. But the way that you say it, the way that he approached this, I guess I'm assuming it's a he since it's Mr., so I hope that gender marker is correct. What we're saying opens it up to more discussion. And in fact, that's kind of the point that I give, is that you're allowed to react to this art however you want, and you're not the only one I know rolling their eyes. Part of the function of art, perhaps the main function of art, is for human beings to consume the art, have a reaction, which is always a correct reaction, and then talk about why we had our reaction. Because that in turn forces us to dig deeper into ourselves and figure out why did we react this way to this certain thing. That's part of humanity. And that's part of what actually connects us through art and why art is so important. The kind of negative comments that unfortunately don't do a good job of projecting this discourse is this one. And again, I'm not coming after this person. They are allowed to think this, by all means, and go live their life. This is not interesting or philosophical or musical. So the way that you phrase this kind of negative comment, unfortunately, is attacking my opinion of the art. It's not phrasing your opinion of the art. Any reaction and any interaction with this comment that I have would not be educational about the art. It would force me to defend my own reaction, which is not quite the purpose that we're looking for here. This is gonna sound very therapy speaky, but if you preface this with like, I cannot see how this is interesting or philosophical or musical, then I can pipe in with totally valid. This is why I see it as philosophical or musical. But the way this is phrased is just telling me that my opinion is wrong, which can't be true, because all opinions about art are correct. Anyway, thanks for listening. These are just the little thoughts that I have as we continue discourse on art. I think it's a unique discourse because we can all have big opinions and we can all have big ideas, and we can all recognize that all of those ideas exist together after consuming the same thing, which is bonkers. How can we all look at the same thing and consume the same thing and have completely opposite reactions to it? That's why art is essential to humanity and essential to our conversations and essential to our development. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna go back to making dumb skits now.